those in the fashion you can see here.
Are there any markings or tattoos that are related to YSL depicted in this photograph?
Yes, ma'am. Additionally, you can see the word SLAT tattooed across the index finger.
All right, that sidebar is still going on, in case you're wondering. We're going to let that continue. And I want to bring in our guest, trial attorney Ted Spaulding. Ted, watching that little educational lesson from this gang expert, tell me what your thoughts are. Maybe if you're a member of the jury, what might you be thinking looking at some of those slides and hearing his testimony?
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts, and I guess what a jury would be thinking is, okay, they're establishing gang. They're all together, they're identifying as a group, using symbols, all of those things. We get maybe where this is going, that it's like the Bloods, like the Crips, those are criminal gangs. But what's striking me, maybe this is just the attorney in me, but I'm wondering if jurors are thinking this, is you keep hearing the witness say, gang, gang, gang. What our guest earlier was talking about, you know what the defense is gonna argue. There's no crime in being a gang. There's no crime in taking a label and using colors and tattoos and things like that. Criminal, that's the point.
That's the key.
It's a criminal gang, not just a gang, criminal gang. Where's the crimes?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's coming.
Right.
So let's see it. But
Ted,
where are all these folks with the colors and the tattoos and everything committing crimes? And how many crimes? And then again, how is it linked to our ultimate star defendant as the leader of that gang? So we assume this is the building blocks. Prosecutors, unfortunately, have the burden, so they've got to go through systematically. So she's creating their gangs, but now we need to get into the beef of it, and quickly. Where's the crimes?
Right. No, exactly. I mean, it's a nice lesson, and okay, but it's not a crime to post pictures like that, to make those signs, to wear those colors, to have a tattoo. You know, just like you said, it can be a gang, and I think for all these defendants, not just Thug, I think, you know, embracing that and saying, yeah, that's okay under the law, but what we didn't do was commit these crimes. That's where the defense has to go. The state, we know that's another story. As you said, Ted, this is a heavy burden they have got here. And I'm being told Sidebar has broken up. Let's go back in together live and watch some more.
I'll say two things. I believe that we've addressed that issue yesterday with a request to be more mindful of the placement of cameras. The other issue that is requested of the court, I'm going to defer on that at this point in time. I would just advise if there are any other, if anything is brought to your attention, that's any party or the court feels necessary at that point in time, I will specifically consider the remedies as suggested, but at this point, I think it draws too much attention, and I'm not going to necessarily do that at this point in time. Okay, so that's my initial comment on that.
Your Honor, if we could just place on the record, I think since the court...
And I'm going to include your filings as an next court exhibit.
Thank you. Since the court addressed the issue yesterday evening, the state has been made aware that this particular post has been shared a number of times. And it is of concern for the state, for the integrity of this case that...
I understand all that. That's in your pleas, but there's a trade-off to that. If you then kind of make it an issue, then I think that you draw attention that may not necessarily need to. If somebody reacts because of that attention, then I'll go ahead and deal with the other issues at that point.
But Your Honor, this time we don't know. It's very possible that any of these jurors could have had contact from family members who saw that post, from anyone who may have texted them, inadvertently texted them about this image, and that may impair on their ability to be fair.
I'm just not going to weird them out, and that's the last I'll say about it at this point in time. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Judge Glanville has ruled there. We weren't privy to that big discussion, right, because it was done at sidebar. But something's up, and the jury was taken out of the courtroom, so they were not in there for that. They were dismissed for a bathroom break. They're going to be brought back in. We're going to take our bathroom break. I'm just kidding. We're going to take our commercial break now because it is the bottom of the hour. Don't go anywhere. This is Court TV Live. We are your front row seat to justice.
These are phrases in a song, and whatever the listener takes from it, you will learn that's what the song means. This is art. This is freedom of speech in America.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. We're watching the trial involving famous rapper Young Thug. That was his attorney. We got a little taste of what he said to the jury in open. Right now, the members of the jury are being, I guess, brought back in to the courtroom slowly after a bathroom break. No action just yet. We're seeing some movement, and we are not the pool camera. It is not Court TV who is filming this trial, although our team is there. We are present. You saw our Julia Janae in the courtroom, as long as our other field producer, Brian Prim. And as soon as they're back in the box, we're going to go in there and watch more from this witness, this lay witness who worked in the adult entertainment industry at clubs in the Atlanta area. Where is the state going with that? We're about to find out. But in the meantime, let's listen to a little more from Brian Steele talking about the rap lyrics belonging to his client that are now being used against him by the government.
Becomes lyrics. Now, I separated these to just group them together, but these are songs. Some of them Jeffrey performed, some of them he didn't perform these lyrics. Some of them, the lyrics got changed because he doesn't write them down. The prosecution did not have the lyric find them. They went out and they did a database. And they searched all of Jeffrey's Instagram, all of his Facebook, all of his lyrics to try to find any mention of Bloods, Color Red, drive-by shooting, the Tahoe, killings, 12, drugs. They searched for it. These are not confessions. These are not admissions. This is art. You will hear from the most prominent expert in hip-hop and rap. He will tell you that these words, the lyrics, they're common. These are not unique and say, oh, that's the Donovan Thomas killing that Tahoe. Jeffrey sings about cars all the time. He names all different cars. Put him in the wheelchair. These are lyrics that rhyme. Those are taken out of context in that song, but they're lyrics. If we're going to criminalize lyrics, you will learn. We all should watch what we say. You will learn that Bruce Springsteen sings about going out west, driving with a gun on his passenger's lap. They're going to kill everything in sight. Nobody prosecutes that.
Oh, let's talk some more about the lyrics. I want to bring in trial attorney Ted Spaulding. He's in the studio with me today. Ted, your thoughts on the lyrics? Some are outraged and offended at the idea that the government would use lyrics against a criminal defendant. We have a prosecutor saying, you rap about killing somebody in a beat, guess what? I'm going to use it against you in a prosecution. It's fair game. Your thoughts, please.
Yeah, that's, I think, the most interesting part about this trial is that ultimately judge ruled it can come in. I think he limited it a little bit. But in my mind, again, lyrics are lyrics. I think the defense counsel's right. I think most jurors would probably look at it that way. Where is the link? So if you're pointing to specific lyrics that say something was done, now show me the evidence the old school evidence
Right.
that those things actually occurred. Now it does become very relevant, right? Because, all right, it's basically like an admission, all right? You went out, did a crime, now you're rapping about it, it's an admission.
Yeah.
I think without that, and that's what we're all, I guess, guessing right now, wondering where's that link coming? Maybe it's coming. Otherwise, you know, I'm a 90s kid, so
yeah,
I think about Death Row Records. Remember Death Row Records?
Oh, Suge.
Suge.
We're talking a lot about Suge lately.
Snoop Dogg.
We have to get you back on
I know,
when we're
right?
covering the Tupac case. Yes.
Tupac and all of them. Why not bring that up? All of the lyrics for all of those years about crimes and everything else. We never had a RICO charge against Suge Knight to say Death Row Records was a criminal organization. So you could use that because it's the same type of lyrics. Again, I think that's why for the defense you keep pounding the narrative that this is fighting against the rap culture. And I've always thought the prosecution, gosh, are you guys reaching a little too far and opening too much of a door for the defense to bring in doubt with the jury with all of this lyrics and trying to tie it? In my opinion, you better have real specific, hard, old school evidence to prove those lyrics turned into an actual crime that can be linked, or a jury's going to go, I'm not buying this.
Right. You're absolutely right, Ted. If it's subject to a different interpretation, I think there's a problem. You know, if it's really specific, you know, if they're naming a name or, you know, something that's just undoubtedly it is what it is. But here, when things are just up for interpretation, it might have been someone else's story meant to sell records. It makes it really tricky. I'm really intrigued by this case. And Young Thug, we know, has a big distrust for the justice system. His attorney talked about that in opens, Ted, as you know. Let's go back to that clip now and refresh our memory on what he said.
Jeffrey learned that these liars, these snitches, these rats, they would come into the courtroom, take a witness stand, to tell the God's honest truth. They were still the same liars. And they would testify against people accused of crimes. Jeffrey thinks that the entire justice system is corrupt. It should be blown up.
Okay, he got away with a lot in that open there. You know,
was surprised.
The state didn't object to that. They could have.
They could have. Defense objected a million times during opening. I was surprised they didn't take the chance to a little bit of revenge there.
Right, Ted. I know, I was too. So, okay, so he's saying he doesn't trust the justice system. Yeah, you know, that might be part of it. Maybe that's true. I don't know. Snitching could be a big part of this. One thing I want to know about, I'm curious your thoughts on this, Ted, is if the state chose that charging in order to get some witness cooperation, because we know there were upwards of 20 people initially charged. They dropped like flies, took deals. Sudi was the only one to get the null pros, but many of them took deals, and now a question is, are we going to see any of these people coming in and flipping? And part of me wonders, did they cast such a wide net because the case was weak and they needed some of these characters who may not be the main guys to come in? And Sudi made a point too. If they are as violent as the state says they are, why are some of them out with probation? Some of the deals were probation deals. So that also kind of raises a red flag of questionability with me. Your take, Ted?
Yeah, I mean, my take is that not classic proof of RICO, right? Again, we mentioned earlier, joking about John Gotti and that trial. It's the same thing. You gotta rely most of the time on people who were on the inside to link it up to the boss, right? Again, getting back to the lyric part, in Gotti, they had wiretaps where he's actually saying, go do X, Y, Z, right? Is that what they're trying to use the lyrics for? Kind of in the reverse thought process, right? But again, they still had to, even with the wiretaps, bring in some of these snitches And there was the real famous one.
Oh, yeah.
That
Sammy
was his,
the Bull
that was
turned
his
on him.
underboss,
Sammy the Bull
right?
Gravano.
So you still need that. So I think that is a traditional thing to do as a prosecutor, but it's always in the back of your mind, you're thinking defense can easily cross-examine them. You took a deal to help yourself. You're lying. I think all of that's normal. It's going to come down to what trials come down to. What does the jury, looking at that witness, hearing them go through direct, and then the nasty cross-examination that you're a liar, how do they handle it? Do they come across credible? If they do, then that's a good witness, even though they're quote-unquote snitches. If they don't, then this just lends more to the defense that, look, prosecutors are grabbing every which way. They're having to grab lyrics. They're having to grab these criminals to try to say my client's also a criminal, and they're lying.
Right, Ted. Ted, I'm loving the Gotti case comparisons. I'm just loving this. Yeah, because you have somebody who's a character at the center of it, who's intriguing, appealing. There's a lot of question marks, and Sammy the Bull. He sung like a canary, but then Frank Locasio, Gotti's, underboss, he kept his mouth shut. And I think Gunna is going to keep his mouth shut. He's the other most famous other defendant besides Young Thug who's on this case. And he kind of like Thug's little protege, so to speak, and on his label. And he pleaded out, but, doubtful that he's going to say a word. We'll see. Ted, thanks for all the insight. Stand by if you would, please. On that sidebar, it's still going on, so we're going to hit a break. We'll take you back to court right after this.
Hannah Payne witnessed a hit and run.
Now, a man is dead, and prosecutors are accusing her of taking the